Hi everyone, welcome back to the Law of Attraction Life Coaching Podcast. My name is Laura. If you don't know me already, I am a life coach and I am also an author writing on Law of Attraction, and I'm a mindset mentor. So I help people to completely and utterly turn their lives around with starting with their thinking and starting with their mindsets. If you are not happy in your head, you won't be happy in your life. And actually the way you think is really, really important in regards to how happy that you are and how happy you can be. So a few bits of news. We've also got an event coming up on the 6th of June, which is looking at the connection between food and mood. So how your diet actually affects your mental health and what you can do about it. So looking at some foods that you can introduce into your diet, possibly some sort of what foods are good for enhancing the mood, what foods maybe actually harm your mood, looking at how we can kind of increase your gut biome to make sure that you are as happy and healthy as you possibly can be. So I did a course recently with Deakin University looking at food and mood, and I wanted to kind of share the information that I had found with from them with you. So that's on the 6th of June. Again, that's via Zoom call because of quarantine. And it's £5 to come on. So if you want to access any of those events, you can find all the details on Meetup, the Meetup app. And if you search Bristol Life Coaching Law of Attraction, you'll find my group. It's free to join Meetup. It's also free to access the events and information and join my group. But obviously some of the events cost, some of them don't. So keep an eye out for some of the free ones and so forth. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Law of Attraction and about the thought processes that you need to be able to kind of use Law of Attraction to your own benefit. Now, I think the Law of Attraction became kind of something that was kind of quite zeitgeisty when The Secret came out. Now, The Secret is... I don't want to kind of shit on Rhonda Byrne. But Rhonda Byrne talks a lot about a lot of stuff that sounds quite Law of Attraction-y, but actually she doesn't really give you the secret. She doesn't actually give you any kind of real truthful strategies to kind of get your mind on the path to being able to manifest. And it's all very well and good talking about something but not showing people how to do it or how to access that. You may as well not be saying anything. So I think The Secret's it's good if you're already on that vibration, if you're already knowing how to manifest and you're already an apt manifester. The Secret and The Power and all the books by Rhonda Byrne are actually really good because they help to keep you kind of on a kilter, on an even kilter, and keep you on track to be able to manifest by keeping you on that vibration. But if you're not on that vibration and you don't really know how to manifest and you're only just starting your Law of Attraction, then actually The Secret and The Power and Rhonda Byrne isn't really going to help you, I would say. Sorry, Rhonda Byrne. So let's talk about actually what you need to do to be able to manifest. Okay. So I imagine in my head that I have, it's a little bit like, a gas tank, kind of, petrol tank meter, measure. And it's always kind of on half, and you wake up in the morning and you're on half, okay? Now, to the one side is negativity, and to the other side is positivity. And you always want to be going over to the positive side. And I think of a Law of Attraction and manifestation almost as a game. It's a game of how you can find joy and peace and happiness and love in all of the situations that you have got and all of the things that you have in your life to be able to kind of find something that's joyful. Now, some of the really important parts of Law of Attraction is feeling, is emotion, and is what you're thinking about and what you're speaking about. And I think that, a few things that I always sort of think about is the three monkeys: see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And I think that is incredibly important for Law of Attraction. And it's because if you notice something you don't like, I don't talk about it. I don't moan and complain, because I know that when I am moaning and complaining, I am getting more and more into the energy of the thing that I am not liking. you know, and I'm actually creating that energy behind it. So it's about kind of you're putting almost kinetic energy into something when you start to complain about something. So I see no evil, I hear no evil, and I speak no evil. Now this isn't about, you know, willful ignorance, but it is about you know, ignoring the things in my life that I don't want and focusing on the things that I do want, because what you focus on you get more of. So if you get up in the morning and you complain about everything that has happened in your morning and you're moaning and everything's rubbish, you'll be on the vibration to notice that everything is rubbish, and you'll notice more things that are rubbish and more bad things will happen to you. And you're a fausty, miserable, like nasty little person by this point, because everything has gone wrong in your day. And so everything that happens you will perceive even worse than what maybe you would have done if you just come to it in a neutral energy. So I think it's really important for us to focus on, you know, on positive energy. And if you can't be positive, then be neutral. If you can't talk positively about something, you know, if you're getting stuck on something, so say you want to manifest a job, okay? Say you haven't got a job and you want to manifest a job, but all you can think about and all you can feel about is worry and concern and your finances and not enough and lack and lack and lack. You can't get manifesting, you can't manifest things from lack. You know, you have to be in a position where you feel the wealth and the abundance of the thing that you want. Now this can be really, really sticky, because if you are, say, you know, if you haven't got a job and there are, you know, and you aren't getting any interviews and you're not getting anything, and it's like, oh God, you know, for you to imagine that you have a job and that you have abundance in this feeling, it feels very kind of counterintuitive. It feels like, well, how can I feel grateful that I've got a job when I haven't got a job? You know, how can I feel that I'm abundant in the workplace when there isn't abundance and I'm not, you know, and I haven't got a job, you know? So if you're coming from that perspective where all you can genuinely feel is, you know, lack and, you know, that you know, lack of everything that you've got. So a lack of work, a lack of job, a lack of finances, whatever it is, then your best thing to do is to ignore the situation. Now, I don't mean ignoring in the point that you just go, you know, you like an ostrich, you put your head in your sand and you just go like, it's okay, everything will be fine, it's okay, everything will be fine. Now, without kind of having any proactivity. Now, I always say that in the law of attraction, you know, in attraction, there is the word action. You do have to be doing things. It's not just a case that you put your head in the sand and you presume that everything's going to be okay and it somehow works out. You know, some bloke comes and knocks on your door and offers you a job. You know, that's madness. That isn't what the law of attraction is. That is willful ignorance and willful, you know, I don't know, ignorance, yes, willful ignorance of the situation at hand. And you'll get nowhere with that approach. So what you need to do is you need to think about, instead of thinking about the lack of the job that you've got now, you need to think about the abundance of the jobs that you have had. So, you know, think about the fact that you have always gotten a job. You know, you've got a job, maybe you've lost your job because of COVID-19 or whatever, but you had a job, you know, and you've been working ever since you left school, presumably. And so, you know, actually, when you think about it like that, you think, well, there are an abundance of jobs and I have had a lot of jobs and I am able to get a job, you know? And so you think like that and it changes the vibration behind it. So when you think about like, I don't have a job and I'm never going to get a job. Oh, that's lack, and it is a stagnancy, and it's stagnation. You know, it's stagnation, and it is you know, attachment to the impossibility of you being able to get what you desire. Whereas if you would come from the other side, where you're like, well, I've had jobs, you know, I got loads of jobs, I got lots of jobs that I wanted to go for, I've had interviews for jobs that I've wanted to get, you know, people saw my value, and then you go online and you look and there's an abundance of jobs that are out there, you know, and you think, oh gosh, there's lots and lots of jobs. Go and look at all the jobs that there are out there, like jobs that maybe you don't want, you know, but there are lots and lots of jobs out there, aren't there? you know, and you might think, well, actually, there's so many jobs. I can be picky. I can be picky that there are so many jobs out there. So thinking about it, actually, going from this perspective of like, oh, there are no jobs and I'm never going to get a job, with a little bit of intentional thought and mindfulness about the things that we're thinking, you can quite quickly go to being like, oh, actually, you know, I've got lots of jobs and there's lots of abundance in the world of work, and there's people crying out for people to start immediately at the moment because of the COVID situation. So actually, is it that difficult for me to find a job? No, it's not. So that's a good one for sort of work example. Think about finance. A lot of people struggle with finances. They find it very difficult, and it's often because they are coming from a place of lack. And again, if you're struggling to make ends meet every month, so say for instance you have lost your job and you're trying to kind of, you know, think about manifesting more money in your life, and you know that you need to come from a place of abundance, and that's really difficult because, you know, you're like, how can you come from a place of abundance when there is no money? You know, and you're like, oh no, there's no money to pay the bills. You know, people walk around going like, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, I'm poor, I have no money. You know, and everything that you say and do, basically leads you in to feeling like there's no money. You know, there's no money, there's no wealth, there's no opportunity. And your words are really powerful. You know, I think like in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was good. And this is so powerful. I don't kind of hit the religious books too often in my podcasts, but I think this is so powerful, and I think that it's metaphorical, and I think that actually what the Bible is attempting to talk about, and sorry any Christians or you know, devout you know, theists that are listening to what I'm saying and they're like, what the hell, that's not what it means. But in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was good. Now, in the beginning of the universe, there was nothing, and yet there was the Creator, and the Creator spoke, and He spoke things into existence. And this is, and God, you know, in the Bible it says that, you know, that God created man in His own image, and I don't think this is because God is a man-like thing that's sitting on a cloud. God is a creator, and He creates through thought and through language, you know. And when you speak and we use language and we breathe something into an existence, when we speak, we breathe something into existence, which is what God did with Adam. You create, you know, you create. And so your words are very powerful, your words are very potent. I mean, don't walk around saying I'm poor and I don't have enough, you know. If you can't afford something, just say nothing. You know, if you can't go to the expensive restaurant that all your friends want to go to, suggest something different, but don't say, oh, I can't afford that, I'm poor. You know, because I am is a very, very powerful statement. You know, in the Bible it says again, I am what I am. You know, God says I am what I am, and He is what He is. It's not that this is like some weird reverence of like, you know, Descartesian thought pattern. I think therefore I am. Actually, what He's saying is that He is what He speaks. He is what He says He is. So when you say that I am wealthy and I am powerful and I am a powerful manifester, that I get what I want, that I create with my words, and we use language like this, affirmations isn't about creating through manifesting. We don't just say like, I am rich, and boom, suddenly you've got £1 million in your bank account. The I am affirmations are about creating the energy within yourself to be able to create the energy without yourself. You know, what you say you are, you are. And this is so powerful. It's so powerful because when you say, I am confident, I am loving, I am kind, I am wealthy, I am strong, I am vibrant, it's creating the emotion of the thing that you want and that you need in your life. And this is the thing, you know, it's emotion. It's about energy in motion. This is what emotion is. It's energy in motion. And you need emotion to be able to back up your statements, to be able to back up your I am affirmations. So I am affirmations actually allow you to kind of almost create the energy. It's the fake it till you make it thing, you know, to create the energy that you need to be able to create the manifestation in your life. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the feeling. You know, what are you feeling when you're attempting to manifest these things in your life? If you're trying to manifest money and you feel poor and you feel like you have nothing, you are not going to get there from there. You cannot get what you want from a place of lack, whether it's a lack of love, a lack of money, a lack of abundance, a lack of wealth, a lack of opportunity, whatever it is, you can't get there from there. And so you have to simulate it in your life. You know, and I think that being in nature is beautiful. I think that being in nature is really helpful for manifesting. And I'll tell you why. Look around, you know, wherever you are now, have a little look. I'm driving, as you guys can see. But I'm driving, I'm out in the countryside at the moment. I'm just sort of near to where I grew up, actually. I'm just going to see my parents. But I'm sort of near to where I grew up. And I sort of look around me, and I don't know if you can see sort of over my shoulder, but what can you see? You know, I can see thousands and millions and billions of blades of grass. You know, I can see, you know, hundreds of thousands of like clouds in the skies, you know, millions and millions of flowers, billions of leaves, trees and insects and birds, and it's just over the top, abundance everywhere you look in nature. You know, you don't get an apple tree that decides to, you know, put up some, you know, to make some apples that year, and he makes 50 and then he goes, oh, well, that's enough for this year, that's my quota and done. You know, that's not what happens in nature. Nature is abundant. It gives and it gives and it gives and it gives, and then it stops and it starts the cycle again. And even in the cycle of, you know, autumn and the end of the harvest is still about giving. You know, there's still about giving. You know, when a tree loses its leaves, it's not that the tree is in a state of lack, it's yet again the eco-cycle is in a state of giving, that it's giving back to the earth, that it's giving back to nature, that it's giving back to the area where it took from, where it grew from. And if you look in nature and you suddenly become one with nature in a more kind of paganistic kind of way, you actually start to notice that abundance is everywhere you look. And if you can start to recognize that everywhere you go, you can feel the energy of abundance in your life much, much more easy, without having to kind of sit and worry about some of the kind of weird connotations that humans have put on things about lack. Now, you don't wake up in the morning and you think, okay, I've only got 50 breaths that I can take today because otherwise I'm going to run out of oxygen. There is just an abundance of oxygen. You don't think about, you know, a lack of sunlight or a lack of, you know, oh, I better sleep now because the dark may not come back again. You know, I better wake up now because the sun might decide to stop tomorrow. You know, you naturally live in a vibration of understanding abundance. But the odd thing about our culture and our society is that we have created false idols and exchanges of energy that appear to be limited. Now, this is a tough one. With money, it's a really tough one because there's so much like endemic bullshit that comes along with money culturally and systemically, where people are kind of like, you know, you've been taught for most of your life that money doesn't grow on trees, and that money is the root of all evil, and money, you know what, like if I say money is, a lot of people will say the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. Think about the idioms that you have been taught throughout your life that you just, they immediately come. And your subconscious is empowered to, or unempowered, really, to automatically think these ideas. And I think it is because, you know, the people that know are in the know, and they want to keep the people that don't know and not knowing. Because if you're in a state where you understand that money is just energy, and that there is an infinite amount of energy in the world, and that you can have as much money as you like, that you can be rich, that you can be empowered, that abundance is everywhere that you look. If you truly recognize that, then we wouldn't have a lot of the kind of slavery that we have to systems in our society, such as money, such as fashion, such as, you know, the things that kind of keep the materialistic world going round. And it's not necessary. You know, it's not necessary for you to live in a state of lack at all times. You know, you can live in a state of abundance, even if in wealth, in money, in work, in love, in whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you know, inherently feel a lack. You know, we could always have more money, we could always have more love, we could always have more joy. But when we're thinking about, like, we could have and I want more, actually what you begin to kind of start thinking about is that you have, you know, a lack. And I think that gratitude is one of them. You know, I talk about gratitude a lot, and, you know, gratitude is one of the most important places to start when you are starting to use law of attraction and abundance and manifesting. You know, because I think, like, imagine if, like, I came to you and I was like, hey, and every time I saw you, I brought you a gift, and every time I brought you a gift, you never said thank you, you were never appreciative of it. What do you think would happen? Do you think that I would continue to bring you gifts? Or do you think that I would, rather slowly but surely, get to the point where I would stop giving you anything at all because you're an ungrateful bastard? You know? Imagine that. Every gift you give somebody, they don't say thank you. You're going to give you more? You know, and I think the universe is conscious and is as intelligent as, and is as intelligent and aware as what we are to possibly say, like, our own bacteria in our, you know, in the microbiome of our gut. You know, these things live within us and they are really important within us and for our life. We don't really sort of think about them all the time. If they go away, you know, if something like our gut microbiome just gets destroyed, then us and our upper conscious definitely becomes aware. And I think that the universe is like that with us. I think that we are almost like bacterium, like on the great consciousness of God, the God's head, the God creature, the great I am, whatever it is that you want to call it, the universe, you know. And I think that it is aware of us enough as we are aware of our own bacteria and our own things that are living within our bodies and within ourselves. And you know, it's the we are as important to it as it is to us, and yet it is as bacteria is to us. However, we are not always necessarily highly conscious or aware of it. Gone right off on a tangent then. I'm trying to think where I'd started from with that. What were we talking about originally? Who the hell knows? So anyway, you know, with manifesting, you know, the intention is really important, you know, and you have the opportunity to be aware of your feelings, of your emotions, to think more intentionally about what it is that you want in your life and what you have in your life. Oh, gratitude, that's what I was talking about. So, you know, you have the opportunity to be more grateful, you know, and you have a lot in your life. You know, you get a lot of gifts in your life, you get a lot of you know, wonderful things that you have in your life, and yet a lot of these things you don't really pay attention to. You know, you might be in a process of just kind of ignoring these wonderful good things that you've got, which is really sad, because again, it's that situation that if somebody kept on giving you presents and you just kept on ignoring it, well, you're probably not going to get any more presents because you're ungrateful. So to start with gratitude is really powerful, because it allows you to begin to create that, like, kinetic energy that is going to continue by becoming aware of the beautiful things that you have got in your life. And so, you know, being grateful for the clean air that you breathe, being grateful for the water in your tap, being grateful for the things that you actually have in abundance, because by recognizing the things that you do have in abundance, it creates this energy of continuing abundance. So I am so grateful for all the oxygen that I get to breathe every day. I don't have to count my breaths. I don't have to think, oh my gosh, I have to be aware because I've only got 10 breaths today and I have to ration them out. No, I just breathe all day long, and it's wonderful, and it's fabulous, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so honored to be able to live in this wonderful, beautiful environment where I have so much. And then, you know, all the food I get to eat, you know, there's lots of food that I can eat, and I can go and choose what I want to eat because there's so much. You know, I can choose between, you know, the healthy, yummy apples or the rocket leaves for my salad, or I can choose to eat things because it's an abundance. There is an abundance of food for us to be able to eat. Now, I know that's different in different places, but we're, you know, talking about where we are at the moment. We live in a state of abundance, and we are very lucky where we are. You know, I've got more money than I need. I've always got more money than I need. You know, I can pay my bills and I have something left over at the end. That's more than I need. You know, I might not have enough to just start my philanthropic things that I'd love to buy, you know, a rainforest or whatever, you know, but that's okay. I will do someday, hopefully, and I can focus now on what I have got and be grateful for what I have got. So the possibility of manifesting that in the future is much more likely. So, you know, focus on the thing that you have got in your life. Focus on the things that you have got in your life, and be grateful. I mean, I think gratitude sometimes comes a little bit from a place of kind of like lack, and a little bit of a place of like, oh, I'm so grateful. I am unholy. Then now I am lower than you, and great gratitude's a bit bleh, but gratitude's a good word because it rhymes with attitude. But appreciation, you know, the word appreciation literally means to have more. You know, if you get something and it appreciates, if you put money into something, into your stocks, and it appreciates, it means that it's going up, you're getting more. And so I love the word appreciate, because language is really important, and language is so important. We're in line with the subconscious to give you more or to give you less. And, you know, I think that appreciate, you know, the word literally means for you to have more, to get more of the thing that you are appreciating. So when you think about, you know, I appreciate the abundance that I have in my life. I appreciate that I am strong. I appreciate that my body, I appreciate that I am fit, I appreciate that I am healthy, I appreciate the food that I have in my life, I appreciate the money that I have in my life, I appreciate my wealth, I appreciate my joy, the amount of joy that I have in my life, I appreciate you know, the people, the love that I have in my life. I appreciate everything that I've got. You know, if you think about that, and you think about all those things in your life, you start to create, you know, a really beautiful energy of more, and an appreciation of the things that you've got, so you can have more of those lovely, wonderful things. So you can start to appreciate all the things that you have got in your life, you know, and appreciation is really important. So the more that you appreciate the things that you've got, the more the things that you will get. The more that you are focusing on a vibe of joy and love and abundance. And, you know, if you're trying to manifest something that you don't feel abundant in, then go and get outdoors in the great outdoors, in great nature, because nature is abundant everywhere. And it will show you its abundance. You know, I'm just about to drive past some trees here, so you might see them in the background. But how many leaves have these trees got them? You could spend a day counting them and you still wouldn't finish. You know, how many trees are there? You know, how many pieces of grass? How much oxygen? How much everything? It's just abundance. Go and look at, you know, an ant's nest. Abundance of ants, of bees, of insects, of everything that we need. It's all in abundance. You know, and when you start to recognize actually that nature is abundant, and that the natural law of the world is abundant, then you can recognize that you are a soul and a spirit that is deserved of abundance and is deserved of always receiving that which it needs. And so you can start to break down some of the really messed up constructs that our culture and our society that has bred into you about money and about wealth and about all of these other things that actually, you know, aren't effective and aren't truthful, and aren't real, you know, and aren't helpful, you know, to be all like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees and all this bollocks. It's not helpful to yourself, so stop saying it. You know, stop doing things in your life and saying things in your life and thinking things that aren't helpful to yourself. You know, why are you punishing yourself? You know, have the self-care to be, you know, aware, you know, to be aware of yourself and aware of the things that you're saying and aware of the things that you're doing and aware of your language, and be mindful about all the perspectives that you have in your life that are actually damaging you, your abundance, your wealth, your health, your happiness, your relationships, you know. And this is why journaling is really potent, because it gets you into that thought process and into the energy of the things that you want. And you know, I use a process that, you know, one of the techniques that I use is a 5 times 55. And this is a really good thing to use to create like a new energy in your life. And it's a 555 method. It's really, really potent. It's really powerful. And you create something that you want, and you talk like you've got it in the present, you know, in present tense. So let's go back to saying like you haven't got a job and you want a new job. So I would start with an affirmation like, I have the job that I want. You know, so I am enjoying my new job. I love it, and it fills my energy with joy. Okay, so I might use an affirmation like that. I love my new job, and it fills my energy with joy. And from there, I would write that 55 times. You know, 55 times on a piece of paper, lines, 55 times, down. And then what I would do is do that 5 days in a row. And it would be the first thing that I do in the morning. So I'd get up and I will consciously create that energy and that vibration in my life. By using, you know, the word was good. You know, language is really, really powerful. And if you're not using your language to help yourself, you're not. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You know, we talk all the bloody time, and you are doing it unintentionally. You're doing it in an unaware state. You are seeing evil. You're speaking evil. You're hearing evil. You are talk, jammer. And then you wonder why you're not getting what you want in your life. And it's because you're not being mindful of what you're doing. You know, it's not being mindful of your language. You're not being mindful of the things that you're saying. You're not being mindful of the energy that you're creating in yourself. So of course you're not manifesting the things that you want. You know, manifestation is so intentional. It's so intentional. It is constant awareness of everything you are saying and doing and being. And you know, it's not just a state of like, I think, therefore I am. It is that you are thinking, you are creating the energy, you are putting energy behind an intention, behind a manifestation, behind something. And before you know it, you put the action into attraction and it's there. You know, and I've created weird things. I've created money, I have created jobs, I've created properties, I've created opportunities, I've created people, all bloody weird things. Finding tickets on the, you know, tickets to, you know, money tickets on the floor. What do you call them? The scratch tickets. You know, scratch lotto tickets and scratch cards, and you know, finding money on the floor. You know, I went to work one night, didn't make any money, found 40 quid on the way home. You know, and I was like, oh, well, that's okay, because that covers the, you know, the couple of hours that I just worked and didn't make any money for. You know, so it's like, you know, how lucky you are and how joyful that is that you can go along and find this abundance. Now, if I had gotten stuck in the energy that where I was like, oh, well, I've got nothing, and oh, what a crappy night it was, wish I'd not gone out, wish I hadn't bothered, I'm poor, I've got no money, the rest of the week's going to be terrible, blah blah blah. Well, good luck, you're not going to find any money on the way home. But I stuck in a good energy, I stuck in a positive energy where I was like, it's okay, I will be fine, I have more money than I need, I am grateful for my experience this evening, I'm grateful for the opportunity to make money, I'm grateful, and I'm appreciative, and you stick in a hopeful and appreciative energy. Before you know it, you're walking along and you're finding the money that you needed, and you're like, thank you, universe, and you say thank you, and you're grateful for everything you have, and when you're grateful for everything you have, you get more, and it appreciates and appreciates and appreciates, and before you know it, you are, like myself, earning 3 times more what you were earning, enjoying your life, doing the jobs and work that impassions you and that fills you with joy, and that things are just easy, and that, it comes in and it flows, and you're in this flow of abundance, and life just becomes something that's enjoyable and not painful, and not having to strive and thrive and like everything's so bloody difficult and blah blah blah. It's just okay, life's fun and it's easy, and we're playing with energy, and if I get in a rut or I start feeling a bit shitty, then I go back to the techniques that I started to use in the beginning, of changing my thought processes, changing my thought patterns, manifesting the things that I want in my life in an intentional and slow and conscious way, and using the strategies that I've talked about, like going out in nature, like recognizing abundance, like taking the time to focus on the things that you've got and the powerful, potent things that there are out there, so you don't feel so whatever, and using that intentional co-creation for you and the universe to be able to put pay to the things that you want. So it's a long one, guys, but it's all really, really potent. It's all really, really powerful. I love you all. I hope to see you all soon. Go and check out my account on Fiverr, where you can start to ask me some questions, so you can get your one question answered, and you can get one-to-one life coaching without having to kind of buy a whole session if you've just got something that you need a little bit of advice on. That's www.fiverr, which is FIVERR.com. And the /law of attraction, which is LAUOF attraction. So, and I'll speak to you soon. So good luck, have a wonderful day, love you all, goodbye.